Hi, I'm Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation, and I'm here with Taylor's new 117E. This is a very cool guitar on many different levels. It's the first time that the Grand Pacific body shape, which is Taylor's slope shoulder dreadnought shape, is available in the 100 series. Up to now, they've only been available in the 300 series and above. Taylor also makes a 200 series version of this guitar now. And these are all models that were just introduced at the recent NAMM show this year. It's very interesting to see how Taylor has adapted this Grand Pacific size and concept for this entry-level 100 series guitar. So let's take a closer look. So as I mentioned, the Grand Pacific body is a slope shoulder dreadnought kind of a body. Several years ago, this style basically replaced the earlier, more square shoulder dreadnought shape that Taylor was using on its higher end models. And it's been a very successful guitar. When these Grand Pacifics were first launched, it was the first new Taylor that was completely built around the V-Class architecture. And it's been a great guitar for a lot of flat pickers, people who are strumming, but also folks who are just looking for a bit more versatility in a powerful guitar. So with this 117E, as well as with the 200 series versions of the Grand Pacific, the design has been modified somewhat to be built similarly to the other 1 and 200 series guitars. There are some internal differences in the way the lining and the kerfing works. These guitars also have a slightly arched back with no back bracing. And perhaps the biggest difference between these and the 300 series and up Grand Pacifics is that instead of the V-Class bracing, these guitars use Taylor's C-Class bracing, which is a type of bracing that Taylor originally introduced as part of its GT line a couple of years ago. The C-Class bracing pattern can sort of be thought of as being kind of a half of the V-Class. There's still one long brace that goes all the way down the bass side, but there's also a cross brace that's right about here. You can see it by peeking into the sound hole. So it's actually a lighter bracing pattern than the V-Classes, and it really is designed to create a great low end on the guitars, slightly different tonality than you would find with the V-Class. And even though on these guitars it's the first time that a 100 series or 200 is built with something that's not the traditional X bracing, it does differ from the bracing that is used on the higher end Grand Pacific guitars. But that's a cool thing, because always these 100s and 200s have had their own personality, and in the case of this guitar, it definitely brings some of that more modern, contemporary Taylor voicing that we have come to appreciate with the V-Class brace guitars into the 100 and 200 series, which traditionally have had more of the sort of traditional X-brace tonality. Another really cool thing that Taylor is doing is that they're using a torrefied Sitka spruce top on this guitar. In the past, torrefied woods, which means that they've had a heat treatment that kind of simulates an aging process, tends to have a great played-in quality. These woods have only been available on more expensive guitars, so seeing it on a guitar like this is really a great thing, and particularly on a guitar that people are likely to want to flat pick and strum. Having that torrefied wood is bound to give you a little bit more of that played in and vintage tonality, and you also can tell that it's got a slightly darker appearance than you would get with a standard Sitka spruce top. Of course, the top is solid, as on all Taylor guitars. The back and sides are made out of sapele, and it's a layered wood, similar to other 100 series guitars. Really nice looking, evenly grained sapele on this guitar. These have a very thin satin finish. It really allows the wood to move. The neck has the standard Taylor shape, of course, and like other 100 and 200 series guitars, it's got a width of 1 11/16 inches at the nut, which is slightly narrower than the 1 3/4 that you would find on a higher end Taylor. Some people prefer the narrower neck, some people prefer the wider neck, so it's another thing to consider if you're choosing between different Grand Pacific models of these. We have an ebony fingerboard and bridge, simple dots in the fingerboard. Of course, there's dots in the side. chrome Taylor tuners. And of course, it has the ES2 pickup system. Same pickup system that you find in higher end Taylor guitars. Controls for volume and tone here in the upper bout, and 3 piezo pickups mounted behind the saddle on the guitar. So really a very attractive package, and the list price on these is $899. You're getting a lot of guitar for your money on these, especially if you're going to be playing plugged in. You're going to get very close to the tone of higher end Taylors, and I'm going to show you what the guitar sounds like plugged into our Fishman Loudbox Mini here later when I go out. But overall, just a very cool guitar, and really neat to see Taylor doing some innovative design work on these entry-level 100 series guitars. You heard me strum the guitar in the intro to this. Let me show you what it sounds like if I'm finger picking a little bit of Freight Train here. So nice response, sounds really lovely finger picked. Slope shoulder dreadnoughts have always been very cool finger picking guitars, especially for accompanying a voice. Of course, these Taylors tend to have a more modern tonality than a vintage slope shoulder dreadnought would have. But I think some of that quality does transfer. And in some ways, I think the C-class bracing may be a little bit more responsive than the V-class on the higher end Grand Pacifics would do. So if you play with a lighter touch, you might actually really like the response and the tonality on this 117E take on the Grand Pacific models. So overall, a very cool guitar. Really great to see Taylor sort of trickling down some of these developments from the Grand Pacific and then modern bracings into the 100 series. I think it offers a great value both for beginning players and more experienced players. Maybe you already have a Grand Pacific and you're looking for sort of a backup guitar, or want to take around where you don't want to take a super high-end guitar with you. This would be a great choice. I'm going to go out and show you what it sounds like plugged into our Fishman amp. If you are seeing this on YouTube, consider coming over to pegheadnation.com to check out not just all of our gear demos, but also our many courses, not just for guitars, but also for many other stringed and fretted instruments. So come on over and we'll see you there. My name is Teja Gerken.